How's it going, YouTube? Hi, Drax, and in today's video we're going to be rating every single one of the Dragon Ball movies, starting from the original Dragon Ball series up until the brand new Dragon Ball superhero movie. As you can see, we have all of the movies right here in front of you, and we are going to be starting off with a very interesting movie, probably one of the best movies in the entire series, one movie that eclipses every single one of these movies, and is the definition of one of the greatest movies ever released ever. Obviously, I am talking about the Dragon Ball Evolution movie, which is going to be in trash tier, because let's face it, it is a bad movie. It shouldn't have existed in our timeline, and it shouldn't exist in our universe. I don't understand how this movie got greenlit to actually release. Who thought this was good enough to actually be released in a cinema or theater, or actually even be given the Dragon Ball name attached to it? It is so bad that I actually created its own tier for it, being the trash tier, that it shouldn't exist in any form, actually. Yeah, so let's actually start with the actual list now. We are going to start off with the GT movie. The GT movie with Goku Jr. I didn't like very much. So yeah, I am going to putting it in D tier, because it's not actually Goku, and it focuses on the worst part of the basically Chi-Chi, the Chi-Chi bloodline, being her whininess. The same thing she had when she was a kid, and then Gohan when he was a kid, and then obviously it follows with this Goku Jr. as well. Second movie up here is going to be the Dragon Ball Z Second Coming Broly. Decent enough movie, but not too great in the grand scheme of things. Obviously we have some hype moments from there, being the family Kamehameha, and Gohan fighting Broly by himself for a majority of the movie, which is very, very interesting to see, because he actually did fairly well until he didn't and got destroyed, which is basically how everything goes with Broly. But the ending was very, very lackluster. I didn't enjoy it that much, and it was basically plot armor that won the day in that movie, which I actually found very irritating, and it would have been more interesting to see Broly defeated another way. As you can see, I did move all three of the original Dragon Ball movies here. I don't really like the Dragon Ball movies that much. They aren't really that interesting to me personally. But for you guys, it might seem like really good movies. But I just don't like the fact that there's no real transformations. The fighting isn't that great overall. I don't really like the original Dragon Ball movies, because it focuses more on the story side and the less cool fighting side. Let's just say the cool fighting, actually, because obviously Dragon Ball Z has a lot of hype moments in it, but a lot of the time, from the movie specifically, the transformations and the fight scenes are actually what you come for. You don't come for plot, unless you're talking about more recent movies where they actually have plot. But yeah, Dragon Ball Path to Power is actually quite interesting. I like this movie a lot, purely because it has the original, well, not the original, a new version of Bulma, which has purple hair or violet hair, similar to what Trunks has in the Z series and in Super, but it's Bulma's hair who is violet here, and it's not the original turquoise or blue color. Apart from that, we do have the other movies here from Z, being the world's strongest. I didn't like this movie because obviously it's the first Z movie. It's not going to be the best. Like I said, transformations are minimal, fighting is minimal, and it focuses on a villain that's not very memorable. I think it's Dr. Wheelo, what's his name? That's his name in the movie. But he is the character that goes after Master Roshi and wants to kill Master Roshi. That's like the bare bones of the entire movie. So it's not my favorite, and I don't really like it. Same can be said for the Dead Zone movie. I was about to say Garlic Jr. movie, but it's the Garlic movie, or the Dead Zone. It's not a great movie. They didn't flesh out the character enough to where I enjoyed him being in the movie. Also comes into the fact that no one really cares about Garlic Jr. or Garlic in the whole of the... I mean, if you're a Garlic fan, sure, I mean, cool. But this movie is not the way to go in terms of making a Z movie. I will give it its respect. It's still one of the original movies, being the second movie here in the series. But other than that, it doesn't deserve any other place on this list. Let's go ahead and put Tierlist in B tier, the original Goku Black. And one of the only times you ever see Goku use the one-handed Spirit Bomb. Obviously, this movie is very I'm not going to say hype, but original in the sense that it is the first time we ever see a quote-unquote evil Goku. Obviously, it's not Goku, but Tierlist, but it's still a neat concept that they decided to reuse twice, and being successful both times in the later versions of this guy. The second version of this guy is obviously going to be Baby Vegeta, and not Goku, but it still follows the same concept of evil, or basically the evil version of one of our heroes. And then obviously Goku Black is just evil Goku. Lord Slug is a very unmemorable movie. No one really cares about Lord Slug. The only thing you care about in this movie is going to be the false Super Saiyan Goku transformation, and it's just basically copying the World Tournament, or what happened with Demon King Piccolo in that whole final arc of the Dragon Ball original saga against Demon King Piccolo. Obviously, this Namekian, Space Namekian, or Space Evil Namekian, Super Namekian, whatever you want to call him, comes down to Earth, uses their Dragon Balls to get young again, which is basically the same plot for Demon King Piccolo, and then he fights Goku and loses, which is basically Demon King Piccolo. Let's go ahead with the more interesting movies. I am going to put Original Cooler movie here, because I don't believe it's the best or the peak of this of the Z movies, but it is very, very good. Unfortunately, the fighting with Final Form Cooler is very, very minimal. We only see him for maybe 5 minutes of the entire movie, and then he dies, which is unfortunate. Obviously, there are a lot of memorable moments here, being the transformation for Cooler, and the fact that we find out in the non-canon that Frieza has a brother that is obviously a lot more powerful than he is, and actually the reason why Goku survives leaving Planet Vegeta in the first place, because at the end of the movie, Cooler had the opportunity to kill Goku by destroying his space pod, but he didn't, obviously. But yeah, very good movie, very memorable character, so much so they actually brought him back in his second movie, being The Return of Cooler. The only characters to ever receive 2 movies in the entire Dragon Ball franchise is going to be, well, it's going to be Metal Cooler, obviously, and then it's going to be the Broly movies, which we only think of as 2 because the third one really doesn't exist in the minds and the hearts of the fan base. But yeah, Return of Cooler, very, very good movie, very interesting fight scenes, very cool fight scenes with the instant transmission. First time we actually see Goku and Vegeta work together in the movies to fight against the Metal Cooler army, and the first time we actually see a character have like more than one version of himself. I mean, we do see that eventually in other Dragon Ball movies, well, not movies, but more in the series actually. But yeah, I think this is the only character where there were multiple versions of him that existed, and they actually couldn't defeat those versions of him until they released it they were captured and put into the mothership, or the Big Gaddy Star, where they were feeding energy to Cooler's entire ship, which they just overloaded the circuits, which very weak way to end the movie, but also makes sense considering that he is a machine. Yeah, Super Android 13, a very non-memorable movie. He just looks like a troll that you stick on your dashboard. Not really interesting. It's just a bad movie. The only cool thing to happen from this movie is the Spirit Bomb, where Goku absorbs it and punches him in the chest. Like, the rest of the movie is really bad. I mean, other than that, you do see Goku and Chi-Chi with Gohan doing some shopping, which I actually enjoy those little slice of life moments in this Dragon Ball series. I actually enjoy seeing that more than actual fighting in the Z series, because it's such a rare occurrence where you actually get to see them relaxing and going about their daily lives. So yeah, that's the only real interest in this movie. BoJack Unbound, first time it's a movie where they actually don't have Goku as the main hero. This comes before Broly movie. Yeah, so very good movie. BoJack itself, not a very memorable character, but we did get to see a unique look for Trunks, being the tank top that he uses. I actually really liked that look for him, because it is a very, very cool look that they don't really utilize in the later movies, apart from Dragon Ball Z Broly and the actually, we don't even see him. Apart from Dragon Ball Z Broly, we don't actually see Trunks actually wearing this outfit. So yeah, very good movie, and it actually gave a light to Gohan for the first time as a protagonist in a movie. And he has one of the coolest moments where he goes Super Saiyan 2 and actually punches through the chest or the stomach of Bojack, killing him and saving the day. So yeah, very good movie, but it was just a feeder to build off the hype of the original Super Saiyan 2 transformation from the Cell Saga. A very, very good movie, but definitely not my favorite in the series. Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly is a very bad movie. Honestly, people don't even consider it a Broly movie. They just consider it a non-existent movie. Same how we consider Evolution non-existent. This movie doesn't really exist for most people. The only real interesting part of this movie is going to be the portion of the movie where we see Broly in a in one of those pods or tanks with a tail, and the growth chart for Broly. That's the only real interesting part of this movie. And yeah, not really much to say about that actually, other than that. Fusion Reborn, good movie. First time we actually ever see Gogeta in the entire Dragon Ball franchise and series. The Fusion Dance version of Gogeta is going to be very, very interesting because he does fight Janemba, the pure incarnation of thousands and thousands of years of evil, and actually comes out on top. But apart from that, we actually get to see Super Saiyan 3 again, and he actually manages to fight Janemba on a very, very unequal grounds once we actually see Super Janemba. But when he's actually fighting normal fat Janemba, he's actually tearing him apart. And the fight scene with Super Saiyan 3 is very, very good. That is also going to be one of the better moments in this movie, and one of my favorite moments overall for Super Saiyan 3 in the entire franchise. And another Super Saiyan 3 movie is going to be a Wrath of the Dragon. Honestly, I actually like this movie a lot because it doesn't really have much in the sense of pure raw fighting like the other Z movies have, but it is against a different type of enemy, being a giant mist monster that cannot be defeated by normal means. But Super Saiyan 3 doing the Dragon Fist here is, I think, the only time we ever see Goku in the Super Saiyan 3 form do the Dragon Fist. I think only in GT we actually... I don't even think in GT we actually see Goku do it in Super Saiyan 3. So this is the only time in the entire series where we see Goku use this attack in Super Saiyan 3. And it also introduces a new character being Tapion, which is very interesting because apart from the original guys here, Tapion wasn't a villain in this movie, but more of a victim in the movie. And we actually see a very cool dynamic between Trunks and Tapion, which explains how Trunks basically gets his sword. I don't really know how that fits into the whole Z continuum with future Trunks, but yeah, that's how it is with Tapion. Dragon Ball Z Broly. I actually like this. I actually think it's a very, very good movie. I won't put it in Z tier as being the best movie, but it's definitely S tier with the rest of these guys up here. Obviously, the first time we actually see Broly and the legendary Super Saiyan, but it's also the movie with the most fighting in my opinion. We actually see Broly fight a lot of these warriors here for a good majority of the movie. And it's also the first time we actually see a pure psychotic evil Saiyan that actually loses his mind. It is actually so good of a movie that a lot of people still like the Z Broly. And it's so good, they actually still reuse Z Broly over the new Broly in a lot of the promotional anime such as Dragon Ball Super Heroes and a lot of the other games and stuff still add him as a very hype character, a very well-liked character, and the most popular villain from the original 13 movies. So yeah, it's definitely going to be one of my favorites. Honestly, it's probably my favorite Z movie. I don't care what anybody says about Broly's background or like with his story. I don't care what they say about it. The fighting, the transformations, and the ability for Broly to have a unique transformation made this movie one of the best for me. Okay, let's go ahead with Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods was also on the same tier. I like this movie a lot where they introduced the Super Saiyan God transformation. It vexed me at first because the transformation just looked like a smaller version of Kaioken. But as the movie and the series progressed, I actually liked the God transformation a lot more. And actually, it's actually one of my favorite transformations right now. And Beerus being, I believe, the only villain in any movie that they've ever made not to be defeated the Junior movie, you actually consider him defeated because he did actually get pushed into the dead zone. But this guy actually beat Goku and almost destroyed the Earth. Regardless of what Goku threw at him, he could not overcome this quote-unquote villain in this movie, which was good to see, and it's refreshing for the series in its continuous plot armor wins, especially with these Broly movies. Yeah. Resurrection of Frieza, I didn't like it that much, purely because the transformation for Goku, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue, it was such a long name, and the only thing they changed was made Goku a Super Saiyan with blue hair. I didn't like it. I did like Frieza coming back with a new transformation, and the fact that it explains that he never trained a day in his life, which is a very cool thing to understand about Frieza. I like that aspect a lot with this movie. But the CG in this movie was very bad. Apart from that, there's not really much to say about this. I don't really like it. Dragon Ball Z Broly is going to... Dragon Ball Super Broly is going to be the best movie. Obviously, it's the best movie, best animation across the board. We get to see Gogeta in the actual canon of the story now. And obviously, Broly in this movie actually survives, which is a very, very big deal because... usually they end up killing the villains in these movies, but they actually did defeat him, and they actually do train him in the next movie here, which is going to be the Dragon Ball superhero movie, which is also going to be one of the better movies. I do believe that this movie here does not outshine the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, but it is pretty close in terms of story. I did like a lot of this movie. If you haven't watched it, I will not spoil it for you, but the dynamic between Piccolo and Pan actually worked very well for me. I actually liked that quite a lot. It actually made me like Pan, which is a very hard thing to do considering GT makes us so unlikable. But in this movie, I actually get to like Pan a lot, and we actually get to see Gohan return to his former glory as one of the strongest characters in the Dragon Ball Universe 7. But I did not like a lot of the aspects of the movie with the villains, or the villain at the end of the movie. I did not like that, and the transformations that they gave to Gohan, because obviously they have to have a new transformation for him, and the new transformation for Piccolo being potential unlock Piccolo. Also, they very much abuse the Dragon Balls in this movie, I will say, but without, and I don't really think that's a big spoiler because we all know they abuse Dragon Balls. But let me know what you think of this tier list, guys. What do you like as your favorite Dragon Ball Z movies? Do you agree with my tier list in the greater sense? Because let me tell you, this is my personal opinion on which movies I like the most in the series, and honestly, I believe this is a very factual tier list on how a lot of the community and people view the movies in general. But let me know what you think of this tier list down below. Do you think it's good enough, or is it bad? Which changes would you make? But without further ado, guys, my name is Hydrax. I'll catch you in the next one.